sits in the Winfield Nissan, starting out of position number 5. Now keep an eye on the way these two Nissans get off the line. Colin Bond, Tony Longhurst off the front row. Heat number 1 of the AMSCARs from Amaroo Park. And watch the two Nissans. There they go. Trying to split the pack. Bond tries to get to the outside. Longhurst holds him out to dry. Richards also coming up here, and they're approaching the top of the hill about 4 wide. Over the top and down into Dunlop Loop, and I think you'll find the two Nissans have taken the lead. They certainly have. Bond sits back there, but he's gone a little on the wide side, and that'll put Longhurst up on the inside of him as they come down the back straight for the first time.
I know that Jimmy Richards got balked a little at the start as he was trying to sort his way through the traffic, and I think, if anything, he and teammate Mark Scape actually touched as they went up the hill for the first time. It was only a light one, but I could see it out the front of the commentary box. But an amazing start, but what a tremendous performance from the Nissans. Let's take a look at the replay as we... yeah, that's right. Now, this is Richards having to go around the BMW, and that you just saw on the left was Mark Scape touching Richards' car, who then went fully to the left, and there's Scapey up against the concrete wall.
Great pictures there from the Nissan race cam. Also carrying a little logo, Happy Mother's Day, for all those rev-head hot mothers out there today watching the action.
Tight stuff. Scape gets out front. Richards in second, but a tremendous performance from Trevor Ashby. This guy in the untimed session yesterday almost matched Mark Scape's lap record around here, so he's really got the Commodore cranking. Was 4th fastest in qualifying, and he's the only guy up here really holding the Holden flag as we take race cam out of the back of Richards' car. The air dam on the back sort of blocking the view, but Trevor looks like he's going to keep him fairly honest, certainly in this first heat before the tyres start to go away on the big hole.
There's Bob Pearson and also Rowan Onslow and Bob Forbes, GAO Commodore. They're not running the Nissan here today. They'll be back in racing very shortly as Ashby gets the tail of the Commodore out. And here you can see Tony Longhurst has gone back in the pack, and I'll tell you what, 10 lappers around Amaroo Park are really against the BMW. They really need a straight 20 to make their presence felt here.
Tony got a pretty crook start. I think if he'd been able to get away a little bit better, he'd be well and truly able to keep his elbows up high and not let anybody by. But this is a great shot, tucked in behind Colin Bond.
Now this is from the front of Tony Longhurst BMW.
You'll see the strength of the BMW here. Very quick through these corners. That's the right-hander. Now he approaches Sutton's Holden. Slow left-hand corner. The Commodore's pretty heavy and lethargic through there. Bondy looking for a way through. And Tony will be looking for a big run down here as they go into brakes to the stop right-hander. Now, Colin Bond is on the extreme right here. We can't see him from this shot. And there he is now.
Yes, we can. He leans on Ashby. They get all crossed up. But Longhurst makes up a position there. Bond gets pushed back. I think Paul Morris sneaked through as well. So Bond lost about 3 positions in that little manoeuvre.
Next on the shopping list is Trevor Ashby and the Dulux Commodore.
Gee, hasn't he got some grunt in a straight line?
They've done a very good job with that car, Ron Gillard and the crew. They're working the car extremely well around here. Now Tony goes for a run around the outside in the loop. That'd be brave stuff. Now he looks for a run on the inside. If he can poke the BM up the inside as they get down here, he'll be able to do it. But the Commodore's quicker in a straight line. Look how hard he's working at trying to find that gap. Can he get down the inside here? No, Ashby protects. Now he goes to the inside again. Just about read the part number on the diff.
It's fabulous pictures from race cam. Our bumper cam riding on the front of Tony Longhurst. B&H BMW down to the late corner, the right-hander.
Tony goes out wide. He'll come out tight on the inside if he can get his power down well enough. Oh, the Commodore really struggling to get to the rubber to the road. Whoa. Bloke's poking every which way.
Further back, Paul Morris got pushed out of that battle as well. He's dropped back to last place, trickling along toward the pit entry lane. But look at this battle. Ashby, Longhurst, Richards goes to the outside. Bond's back in this battle as well. Terrific stuff.
I'll tell you what, some of the touring car drivers tend to give Amaroo Park a miss for the AMSCAR series, but it honestly produces some fabulous racing, this tight little 1.96 kilometre racetrack. And Ashby coming into his own here in the Lansvale Smash Repairs Dulux Commodore.
Now Trevor's having to protect his line here because he knows he's being assaulted by Tony. That'll actually make his lap time slower. If anything, makes him more vulnerable. Tony's going to get by one way or another. Meanwhile, Mark Scape's disappeared into the distance. It's a pretty healthy gap that he's got. I'll get the exact gap for you. But this is a heck of a battle for the minor placings. It's a ripper. Scapey's 4.7 seconds in front from Ashby. Look at Richards. We take race cam again, tucked in behind the Holden Commodore. Where's Tony gone? He's dropped behind the Nissan one spot now.
That's lap 5 of 10. We're half distance in this hectic scrap. AMSCAR round 2. This is the view out of the front Looking at Ashby's Commodore, working hard.
Escape in the distance. The old Commodore's sitting pretty nice on the road here. He's still not really slipping and sliding as much as I thought. The tyre's working well on that car. A little bit slow to the loop. You can hear Richards having to hesitate. Jim's traditionally been very good at passing people in this corner. Let's see what he can do this time. He's a master at going around the outside.
Now Tony will sit right in between these two as he heads down to the late corner behind them. Bondi, who dropped back to, I think it was about 6th spot, comes back again now. Now he's got Ashby on the inside.
The strength of the Nissan is in its traction, and we just saw how well Jim Richards uses it. He came out of the stock corner. Blackboard up there showing a 53.4. These blokes are not mucking about.
Well, Colin Bond and Tony Longhurst were only 0.04 of a second apart in qualifying. Very evenly matched in outright speed and qualifying pace. And Longhurst has a look down the inside of Ashby. He's enjoying some extra grip from some new Yokohama tyres he's running this year. It's called a T37, which is the softest tyre the BMW's run, and Amaroo is the debut for this new rubber. So Longhurst pretty impressed with it in qualifying.
If Tony weaves around too much, he's got to be a little careful because he'll expose himself to Colin Bond. Another great shot from Racecam in front of the BMW. This time Tony's up on the outside of the Commodore. Can he lunge down the inside? No, he switches lines once again. He'll try and come out tight on the exit. The Commodore's a little weak in this area because it gets a lot of wheel spin, and that's probably one area of real vulnerability for the big V8. But he's really holding his own at the moment, Trevor Ashby. It's a great performance. So we've got Nissan, Holden, BMW and Ford Sierra all nose to tail. Mark Scaife, meanwhile, leads this event. He's off in the distance about 5 seconds out. Now Longhurst is up on the outside of the Holden Commodore.
This is a huge move around the outside. He'll get balked on the exit.
Bondi can get him here if he's not careful, and Bondi will make life very hard on the inside. He'll push Tony wide, and he's done so.
All of that only to drop back about 4 notches on the cog.
So he goes for the run on the inside, but Colin was awake up to that and covered his tracks. The great frustration with the BMW, particularly around this circuit, is that it's lap speed on its own, very, very quick and hard to match. But when you get mixed up with other cars, they rob speed from you in the critical areas, and they make it hard for you to get on and do your job. So Longhurst will be pretty frustrated at the moment.
It's interesting too, Richards isn't getting away from this pack. Mark Scaife, as Neil said, has bolted. Richards keeping pace with the Commodore. The Sierra getting a bit out of shape as he hits the inside of the track, and Longhurst.
2 laps to go. You're watching the AMSCAR series from Sydney's Amaroo Park, and boy is it red hot here today on Mother's Day. Here's Longhurst up on the inside. Just couldn't get through there on Colin Bond.
See, the areas where the BMW is fast, the opposition is slow, and if they're in his way, there's not too many places that Tony can get by.
Run downhill for the left-hander at Sutton's.
Great mix of manufacturers too, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Nissan, Holden, Ford and BMW all running nose to tail. Tremendous scrap for Heat 1 of round 2 of the AMSCAR series.
Tony up the inside.
There's Mark Scaife going through. He'll get the last lap board this time. Jimmy Richards runs in 2nd. Trevor Ashby is 3rd. Bond 4th. And Tony Longhurst back there in 5th as they go across the stripe. And now head up Bitchapave Hill for the final time. And it's still on. Trevor Ashby, hell of a job there in the Dulux Lansvale Smash Repairs Commodore. He's been all over the tail of Jim Richards. Bondi's been in the thick of it. Tony Longhurst has tried every possible line around Amaroo Park to get up and run 2nd. Now he works away here at the inside. Now maybe Bond's got Ashby. Yes, he has. Good move that. Now Longhurst wants a piece of the action down the outside.
Now this positions Tony pretty well on the exit. If he can, no, he can't. I was going to say if he can keep the car up alongside, he'd rob some road off Trevor. But there's some great driving going on here from all these guys.
The man who set the pace in qualifying looks to be left high and dry. Bond gives Richards a little tap as they come into stop corner. Longhurst goes to the outside of Ashby. He won't have the acceleration to match the V8.
Meanwhile, checker flag time, and across the line will be Mark Scaife to win heat number 1 here this afternoon. 2nd spot to Richards, 3rd to Bond, 4th to Ashby, and 5th going to Tony Longhurst, just clear of Rowan Onslow and the GIO Commodore. Great little scrap over 10 laps here at Amaroo Park Raceway this afternoon. Mark Scaife, who started out of position number 5, comes up trumps. Let's check them out for you on our race score. Mark Scaife, your race winner. Jimmy Richards, the teammate in the Winfield Nissan, runs in 2nd. Colin Bond, a great drive for 3rd, followed by Trevor Ashby, and rounding the 5, it was no baloney Tony.